Why intelligent people move in silence. The psychology of keeping your plans private. Not everyone needs to know. Have you ever noticed something strange? The people who talk the most about what they're going to do usually aren't the ones who end up doing it. The person constantly announcing their next business idea, their next fitness goal, their next big move, often stays exactly where they are. Meanwhile, someone else quietly disappears for 6 months and comes back with a new body, a new business, and a completely different life. Most people think intelligence is about knowledge, but one of the highest forms of intelligence is knowing what not to say. Knowing when silence is more powerful than words. Not everyone wants to see you win. Not everyone understands your vision. Many dreams die because they were exposed too early. The moment they leave your mouth, they become vulnerable to doubt, jealousy, and distraction. Intelligent people understand. Your next move doesn't need an audience. It needs execution. Your brain confuses talking with doing. One of the strangest discoveries in psychology is that your brain often rewards you for talking about success before you've earned it. You tell someone you're starting a business, they congratulate you. You say you're losing weight, they praise you. Suddenly, you receive emotional rewards before doing any actual work. A small dopamine hit, a feeling of progress, without progress actually happening. This creates a dangerous illusion. You're enjoying the reward without earning the result. Many people unknowingly become addicted to announcing goals instead of accomplishing them. They talk, they fantasize, but the work itself never gets done. The excitement of talking became a substitute for the discipline of doing. That's why intelligent people would rather show you the finished product than the unfinished plan. Most people don't know how to handle your growth. Not everyone is capable of celebrating your success, even people who care about you. Human beings naturally compare themselves to others. When someone close to them starts improving, it forces comparison. And comparison creates discomfort. If you're losing weight, someone else may be reminded they're not. If you're building a business, someone else may feel stuck. You didn't attack them, you simply improved. And sometimes improvement alone creates tension. This is why some people suddenly become discouraging. They'll say, "Be realistic. That's probably not going to work." The words sound harmless, but beneath them sits fear of change, fear of being left behind, fear of confronting their own potential. Sometimes people don't hate your success. They hate what it reminds them about themselves. Hidden competition is more common than you think. Not every smile means support. Some people cheer for you as long as you're not moving too far ahead. The moment your discipline becomes visible, your income increases, your confidence grows, the relationship changes. Not because you changed, because the dynamic changed. Rather than improving themselves, some will try to convince you to slow down, to stay familiar, to stay where they can understand you. Intelligent people recognize this pattern. They stop announcing every step, stop seeking approval, and let results reveal themselves when the work is already complete. The more valuable the goal, the more protection it needs. Think about a seed. When first planted, it's fragile, weak, vulnerable. But once it becomes a tree, it can survive storms, heat, and pressure. Goals work the same way. The early stages are fragile. That's when doubt is most dangerous and criticism hurts most. Telling everyone your plans during this stage is like exposing a seed before it develops roots. You're inviting pressure before you've developed strength. Intelligent people understand timing. They protect until the foundation is strong. Then they reveal. Silence creates focus. Every conversation costs energy. Every explanation costs energy. Every attempt to convince someone costs energy. And energy is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Most people leak energy constantly, explaining themselves, defending themselves, seeking validation. Intelligent people eventually realize something liberating. You don't need everyone to understand your vision. You only need to execute it. The people who achieve extraordinary things usually spend far more time working than talking. That's why their results often seem sudden to everyone else. The work was invisible, not non-existent. Your results will always speak louder than your explanations. Social media has made this problem worse. Today, we live in a world where attention is currency. People announce everything, every goal, every purchase, every plan. Many have replaced accomplishment with presentation. The image becomes more important than reality. Social media makes this temptation stronger. You can receive likes, comments, and validation instantly. But none of those things build a business or build character. Work does. Consistency does. Patience does. Intelligent people recognize this trap. They stop chasing appearances and start chasing results. The strongest people become hard to read. There's another psychological advantage to silence. Predictability creates vulnerability. The more people know about your plans, the easier it becomes to influence, distract, or interfere with them. Intelligent people don't reveal every thought or broadcast every emotion. In chess, the strongest players don't announce every move. They calculate, observe, position themselves, then act. Life works the same way. When people can't predict your next move, you gain freedom to adapt and evolve without outside pressure. History rewards quiet builders. Many of the most successful individuals spent years building in relative silence, not because they were hiding, but because mastery requires focus. The public sees the breakthrough. They rarely see the years of preparation, the failures, the sacrifices, the lonely work. That's why overnight success is mostly an illusion. Behind every visible result sits a mountain of invisible effort. Intelligent people become comfortable in that invisible stage because attention isn't the goal, results are. Move like water. Ancient philosophers often compared wisdom to water. Water doesn't announce where it's going. It simply flows, adapts, persists, moves around obstacles, and eventually reaches places that force cannot. Intelligent people develop a similar approach. Less talking, more observing. Less announcing, more building. They stop needing validation, because validation is temporary. Results are permanent. The real reason silence is powerful. At its core, silence isn't about secrecy. It's about protection of focus, energy, vision, and momentum. Sometimes the greatest act of self-respect is allowing your work to develop in private, allowing your next chapter to be written before the world reads it. Most people announce, few execute. Most seek attention, few seek mastery. Talk less, observe more, build consistently, let results do the talking. And when the time comes, your success will introduce itself, without you having to say a word. If this video connected with you, watch this next. 5 things you must always keep private, because silence isn't just about your goals. There are certain parts of your life that become weaker the moment they're exposed. Your plans, your finances, your relationships, your struggles, and your next move. The people who protect these things move through life with more peace, more focus, and more control. Click the video on screen now, and I'll see you there.